hear a name often enough, people don't always take the time to follow up. I mean, do I have time to look up everybody and find out what really went on 20 years ago in their life? I don't. So I go with the name that unless I absolutely know something about them I can't stand. I'm probably going to vote for a name I know. That's what people do. It's just human nature. So it carries over to books. If you are marketing and advertising this book all the time, then when people walk into a bookstore and your book's sitting there with 10 others, and yours is the one they keep hearing about, especially if it's positive, and there's nothing better than a friend saying, oh, I read that book and it was so good. That's the one they're going to pick up.
Dude, on the blog tour, you work out, you negotiate it, so they're going to write a good review of your book, right?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
That's the thing. There's no promises. If they don't like it, they're going to say, I don't like it. They don't have to. Now, there are times when I've asked them, and they will usually do this. I'll say, if you don't like it, will you just not post anything?
Okay.
Because you're paying money for this, you know. Now, when they go out to reviewers that are not part of the blog tour, you're going to get whatever they think. And a lot of that's subjective. I mean, some people will. I wrote one historical novel with my friend Susan Wales. Some people think it is the best book on the planet, and then I've had people give it 1 star out of 5 and say it really stunk, I hated it. So it's really the kind of book you like or don't like. But when it comes to blog tours, you've got all these people lined up, and the blog tour coordinator, which is the one you pay to, sets them up. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so they're not all one day, they're spread out through the month. Yes?
What kind of cost is attached to that?
I'm sorry, cost? Depends.
Typical.
Typical is anywhere between $300 and $700. Depends on the, you want to check out who their bloggers are. If somebody comes and says, hey, I got 35 bloggers, good to go, and then you say, can I have a list of them, and go check out their blogs, and you go and you find out they have 2 followers. What's the point?
Right.
But if you go in there and I'd rather have 10 bloggers that have huge followings than 35 bloggers that maybe all told have 100.
So what's a good blog tour company?
Pump up your book sales, my favorite.
Pump up your books.
Best return on your investment, really. You get more bang for your book. That's Cheryl Malandrinos. I have used her for years. Sometimes I alternate with other ones. I use other ones. If it's fiction, the Christian Fiction Online Magazine has one that they do themselves, ACFW, the American Christian Fiction Writers. That's only for fiction. There's another good one, and Karen Powers does a great one, and she combines it with a Facebook exposure. So I alternate with some of those, but I always use Cheryl Malandrinos to pump up your book sales, and she does the whole thing for $299.
Wow.
In fact, I've done so many with her, sometimes she'll do 2 books for the price of 1 for me.
Can you
Yes.
get a list of blog tour coordinators, or is there such a thing?
I don't know if there is such a thing. I can send you some
Who's
names.
the one you mentioned?
Yeah, they're Cheryl at Pump Up Your Book Sales. If you can't find them, you can Google that. But if you Google blog tours, but then you don't know who you're getting. If you take my card home and you email me, I'll give you some names. Yes.
Have you ever thought of, tried, or know somebody who's tried something like Google AdWords?
I've never done it, so I honestly can't answer that. I've heard people say good things about it. I don't know. Probably so. Yes. Are we done on time? Okay.
Lost my train of thought.
Oh, train of thought.
Yep.
Okay, let's do this one
Are
first.
there any places that just help you make an ebook rather than a self-published book?
You know, it's a great question. I don't know, but it's one that I would like to follow up and find out. So if anybody else finds out, let both of us know.
What was the question?
Are there places that just specialize in helping you with ebooks as opposed to any other kind? Yes,
I
did
remember
you?
what it was, yes. Are these, will they are they tailored, the blog tour, to a specific genre? Like
Good
if you got
question.
an action adventure, or if you got a romance novel.
Yeah, you want different bloggers.
Yes.
And absolutely it should be, and that's a question that you'll want to ask before you commit to a blogger. They're supposed to be, but when you talk to the blog tour coordinator, you want to say, here's the type of book I do. What bloggers do you have whose followers would actually be interested in such a book? Yeah, that's really important. I'm glad you asked that. I got time for one or two more, and then you know what? I have to be downstairs at 4:30 to give the big prize out. Yes.
Does all of this also pertain to writing curriculum?
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. We haven't even talked about curriculum, and that was one of the things that I did when I went to work at that publishing house. It's very different. There are a few publishers who will look for curriculum, very few, but the ones who do, it's a great thing to get into. You don't have to go out and do a bunch of marketing or anything like that. It's very
So
different.
that's completely different.
Completely different. And if that's the type of thing you're looking for, I would just say get the most recent copy of Sally Stewart's Christian Marketing Guide, find the ones who want curriculum and talk to them. That will take a lot of pressure off them. You don't have to do blog tours for curriculum. Thank you, Lord. One more, yes.
Who are your top Christian book publishers, traditional?
Well, as I said, Thomas Nelson is one of them. Harvest House, they're here. Baker, Ravel, they're kind of together. The others would, that's a matter of opinion. Regal is very good if you want to go with nonfiction. They don't do fiction.
What company is that?
Regal
Legal.
Books, they're actually a part of Gospel Light.
Zondervan.
Zondervan is excellent.
Bethany House?
Bethany House, especially strong for fiction, but good for a lot of them. Oh, you're naming the names that are really good. Now, I have published, and Abingdon is huge on fiction. They're backed up for 2 years, but they are looking at submissions. And I work with New Hope, and I love them. I've been with some of the bigger houses. I love New Hope. B&H is another good one. I kind of like being a big fish in a small pond, as opposed to getting lost in the shuffle. I've been with big houses, but then, you're over there trying to do a book signing, and then you got, Frank Peretti over here, and the Taneys over here, and Jerry Jenkins on the other side, and you're like, oh, well, I could have stayed home and had lunch. So, anyway, I'm so sorry to do this to you, but they scheduled me to give me more than 5 minutes.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a generic